brand new shirt right here. Justin Lee Carter, late model racer out of Kentucky, boy. And we ain't talking about the fried chicken. Things have gotten a little bit interesting today. Developments with what's going on in the sprint car scene. There's been a situation between World of Outlaw teams wanting to be able to run outside of the World of Outlaws in 2023, mainly influenced by the High Limit Sprint Car Series coming out announcing that they want to put on some midweek shows for big money to help sprint car racing. And there's always been a stipulation with the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series that you can't run outside and run non-sanctioned events without certain stipulations and permissions. Today, though, the World of Outlaws have come out and released an idea for these teams and drivers to consider. And obviously, when we talked to Donnie Shots, it kind of seemed like there was a group team collaboration, and almost, he didn't want to say union, but like a union, a group of people who have decided to make a decision and choices together as a group. The World of Outlaws, however, if you sprint car guys want to run 12 high limit races, you have a issue. Here's what was said. More than 1.7 million available. This is on the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series website, released today. The World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series is set to increase its benefits for full-time teams in 2023 with an increased points fund and available year-end bonus program, and further enhance the limited flexibility to participate in non-World of Outlaw events without compromising full-time benefits. The series will introduce the exclusivity bonus program in 2023, administered like a second points fund. In addition to the 1 million championship points fund to every contracted full-time driver and team owner based off their point standings and contract status at the end of the season, full breakdown below, the exclusivity program replaces the 2022 monthly bonus program. So now, along with the $200,000 points fund for winning the championship, an additional $150,000 is available to the champion through the bonus program split between the driver and owner, meaning the championship winning team could earn $350,000 in 2023. In addition to the available bonus program, contracted full-time World of Outlaw drivers or teams will now be able to race 4 non-World of Outlaw nights without restrictions as long as they are outside of 48 hours or 100-mile radius on either side of a scheduled event. So this is the part that everyone wants to hear. This is where we get to the nitty-gritty on the screen. 48 hours, 100 miles. Let's continue before we address that because we got some things to say. If a driver or team runs 5 to 8 non-World of Outlaw nights, they will lose their eligibility for the exclusivity bonus program, but will still be able to contend for the championship and receive the points fund at the end of the year. If a driver or team runs 9 or more non-World of Outlaw shows, they will lose all benefits, including the points fund and bonus. Also an increase, second place earning $120,000, and this is kind of the breakdown of the points fund, and you have to consider this if you're a team that's going to run full time. I mean, how much value is there in a $20,000 high limit race or a $50,000 high limit race that you have to win to earn that much versus a difference? See, if you stay within this exclusivity situation and you run second in the points, you get $210,000. I mean, look, if you're 10th, you get an $87,000 bonus at the end of the year, almost 88. I mean, we're talking about a pretty big difference there. $700,000 difference to stay within that exclusivity bonus. Obviously, 12 races that we've heard, this 12 race number around the high limit series. And if we look at it any kind of way, like the late model side of the Flow Racing series, with the late models, they have a points fund for those Tuesday night races as well. So we can only speculate that the midweek sprint car races are going to come with some kind of points fund if you can run all 12 as well. If you're going to be an outlaw guy, you're not going to be able to be a 12-race high-limit guy. And this is also saying 4 non-World of Outlaw races to stay within the exclusivity bonus and 48 hours and 100 miles. So we all saw how the King's Royal is scheduled, and the 2 dates before that, where the historical big one was, this last year, is empty. So we're only speculating and guessing that could be a possible high-limit race or an Eldora race that is huge, but also non-World of Outlaw sanction. So if they put $100,000 or $1 million, some people are speculating $1 million sprint car race before the World of Outlaw Kings Royal, what is going to happen here if World of Outlaw teams try to run that race within 48 hours of the Friday, Saturday Kings Royal, and definitely within 100 miles of the last race because it's at the same track. And this is saying on either side of a scheduled event, so can't do that. So this is a very interesting situation. At least that's how I'm reading it. That's how some of the people I'm texting right now, because I've been texting them like, are y'all okay with this? This is simply what I was hearing what was coming, a counter. When Donnie started talking about groups and car owners and all collaborating and getting together, it makes me feel like this is an offer from the World of Outlaws. But if this group that's out there don't like this 4-race thing, don't like this 48 hours or 100-mile radius, this group I don't want this group to feel like they don't have the power to be able to say no still. This is a budge. This is the World of Outlaws bending, but this is not the World of Outlaws breaking. This is not the World of Outlaws giving an offer that you cannot refuse. This is the World of Outlaws offering what they have thought and they perceive as fair. If I was advising these teams and drivers, you don't have to necessarily agree with that. Now, this may cause some rumblings in that group. There may be 2 or 3 people that agree this is what we got, this is what we should do, and there may be 4 or 5 people who say no, so now this group may be split up based on this offering. And I'll tell you what, right now, if you just take what they're giving you here, you're going to lose all your negotiation power. This is business. This is how it works. The most powerful thing you have in a business negotiation is the word no. So I would advise some people out there looking at this, I think it's okay, but I also don't think it's going to lead to freedom for drivers and teams later on down the road. Because if you accept this is the new normal. You're not going to get no more than that. And why do you lose your exclusivity bonus just because you want to run 12 races out of 365 days in the year? You're telling me because you're a full-time World of Outlaw driver 353 days of the year and you want to spend those 12 that you don't deserve exclusivity and a devotion-based bonus because you want to be able to be eligible for other points championships for midweek series that great people are putting together to try to increase the income for teams and drivers of this sprint car sport? I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate there because I don't want the World of Outlaws to crumble. I want them to keep their brand, their business, their model. But their model is going to need some big molding here, and I don't think they understand how much that model needs to mold. But these drivers and teams that are potentially in a group making a group decision here, you can pull the plug on the Outlaws. The Outlaws ain't going to survive with the main hitter next year being Noah Gass. That ain't going to fly, guys. That ain't going to fly. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, what do y'all think? Do y'all think the 4 races only, the restrictions of 48 hours and 100-mile radius, do you think that that's enough? Do you think it's fair if a driver runs more than that if they run 8? They didn't say if you run 12 or 10, like we're all thinking. They said if you run 5 to 8 non-racing nights, you lose exclusivity, but you're still championship eligible. But if you run 10 or 12 on these race nights that you could potentially do to make some more money, to make ends meet, to get your crew chief paid well, to get your drivers and crew members paid well, to help out with hotel bills. If you want to do that, you're out completely. 9 or more, you're done. Me personally, if I'm leading this union in player negotiations and team negotiations, I'm really thinking a hard no. It's time to show the power of the people, the teams, the car owners, the drivers that are the stars of this sport that make sprint car and dirt track racing what it really is. And if Walmart wants to try to push everyone out based on some stipulations, it's time to develop the Amazon. And then in 10 or 15 years, when Walmart said that they knew better, they find out that they don't. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my opinion. That's what I think should happen. Hard no. What do you believe? What do you think? This is definitely a development. Boy, this is getting very interesting. This is getting very, very serious. But I'll tell you what, I got me a little coffee in me. And we're going to be awake all weekend. All weekend.
This is how we ride. This is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up.